Giants could smell your blood type, and they could distinguish what tribe you were just by scent from distance. Themes of truth embedded in encoded fiction, stories like Jack and the Beanstalk. The same themes through ancient stories, lots about giants. Aside from their voice being completely terrible and having a frightening frequency that had an effect on the human body, you'll remember Jack and the Beanstalk, the fee-fi-fo-fum, and the Englishman, the smelling the blood, again distinguishing the blood types. But also, like David cut Goliath's head off, you'll actually find in giant lore that the head had to be cut off. It emitted a special frequency, a certain frequency that not only the body would regenerate and come back to life if the head wasn't cut off, but that there was actually an unpleasant frequency that was emitted from the head of the giant, almost like some sort of spiritual technology. Even some of the ancient Israelite tribes that they went to war against, like the Raphaim, in the etymology, Raphaim means the healed undead. It basically has a connotation that they can regenerate themselves and heal themselves and come back from dead. Giants were also known to paint their face and have blood around their face and their nose from eating flesh and blood of things. Also, painted faces with red nose and mouth is the clown origin, and if you look into it, that's exactly where the clown appearance comes from. It's from the Nephilim. Lots of research you can find about that. But back to encoded stories and Jack and the Beanstalk, the same themes you'll always see when it comes to giants. Sky worlds with giants, portals, things being made of gold. Also, I like in that story how there's a living harp. And when Jack tries to steal it, the harp uses its voice to tell the owner that it's being stolen. And its voice is like a silver bell being blown by the wind. Reminds me of how scripture says God's voice is like a trumpet. It even says the devil was created with music in him, literal musical instruments as part of his makeup. And when these beings speak, sometimes you actually hear musical sounds. Lots of music composed by the devil comes through dreams or other deals, obviously in music nowadays, but even in the past with classical music, tons of it actually. Classical instrumental music like Paganini, Tartini, and others. Again, in dreams and having literal songs come to them. A constant theme that you'll see tons of. Not only the same themes, but that actual story, Jack and the Giant Beanstalk, is actually an ancient story that supposedly is over 5,000 years old, has gone under many names, and has been passed on with oral tradition, and it exists in every culture. The boy who stole the ogre's treasure is one of the earliest names of it. The theme of the vine to the sky, aside from Yggdrasil in Norse mythology, really this taps into things like the Mario lore. Remember the Mario with the vine to the sky that goes up into the clouds? Same exact story as Jack and the Beanstalk. Boy, giant, gold. Carpenter, dragon, princess. An earthling overcoming a supernatural being for some sort of treasure or prize. Again, the Mario story with the carpenter, dragon, princess is the same thing as the story of Jesus, the carpenter, Satan, the dragon, and the bride of Christ, the princess, being redeemed. God's people, the elect, the chosen, the church, Israel. All different names. Interesting how the name Jack, as in Jack and the Beanstalk, Jack actually means Jacob. Jacob is Israel. Israel overcoming a giant, David and Goliath. The same story, the monomyth, the hero's journey. It is Christ's story, Jesus' story. A lot of it twisted below that to make a counterfeit version. Again, another pattern you'll see. But Jesus being the ultimate hero, having completed the ultimate hero's journey successfully, paving the way for us. And our lives, each being its own heavenly book with our names on it, is intended to be a hero's journey in his pattern. What will your story say? The life of your book. Hope you find the treasure, and I'll see you in the sky. Peace out.